Hello, everybody, and welcome to a qualifier weekend here on the channel. If I can go 7 wins before 2 losses on day 1, and on day 2, I will qualify for the Arena Championship and the Pro Tour. It is a historic tournament, which is not a format I play a ton of, but there is a deck that I'm playing that I'm hoping will reduce some of that disadvantage, which is Azorius Scam. I literally saw this list yesterday. It's very straightforward, and it also looks kind of fun to play. I played a few games to practice, and I have a sideboard that I made myself for the most part after watching some gameplay. Basically, the reason this is called Azorius Scam is because it uses a historic-only card, Fragment Reality. It exiles a non-token artifact, creature, or enchantment. Its controller puts a random creature card with lesser mana value from their library onto the battlefield tapped. You may be wondering, what are we going to be doing with this card? Well, we can exile a 4-mana enchantment to put a random 3-mana or less value creature into play. And of course, we have Geist of St. Traft as a 3-mana hexproof creature. And we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 ley lines. That's right, these cards that can come into play for free as a pre-game action. We then play Fragment Reality, get a Geist of St. Traft, and then load it up with some auras like Ethereal Armor, Griff Spoon, Arcane Flight, Combat Research, and then slip out the back for a little protection. So it's a very straightforward deck. I will go through the card choices in case you are interested in playing it yourself. But basically, the ley lines are straightforward. Sanctity is one of the best ones because if they do have like a turn 1 Thoughtseize against you, it protects against that. Anticipation also can be relevant, giving your stuff instant speed. Void, sometimes good against graveyard decks. And then Combustion is mostly like, okay, if they are going to target you with like a discard spell, or they're going to try to kill one of your enchantments or something like that, you do a bit of extra damage. Then Leyline of Lightning as the last one, because if you do have some extra mana, you can ping them. Obviously keeping the Geists and the Fragment Realities. And then the auras are pretty straightforward. 4 Arcane Flights to give evasion so that the Geist can continually attack. Griff's Boon does the same thing, but without the toughness boost, which can be relevant if they have like a sweeper that does damage, like deal 3 to all creatures. Ethereal Armor just helps close the game faster. Combat Research keeps the cards flowing. And then Slip Out the Back is actually one of the cooler cards in the deck because not only can it protect Geist from a lot of things, but if you use it on the Angel token that the Geist makes before it would go away, then it is faded out and comes back, so you get an extra 5/5. The sideboard, pretty straightforward. 4 Cartouche of Solidarity is a card that I like. This whole deck is kind of like new and experimental, so the sideboard isn't like stock or anything. But Cartouche of Solidarity is a card that I saw as an idea where if your opponent has edict effects that make you sacrifice creatures, post-board, they're going to take out their spot removal, presumably, and they're going to bring in like edict effects, potentially, that make people sacrifice their creatures. And I know that Shieldred's Edict is one that makes you always sacrifice like a non-token creature, but if they have something like a Liliana or an Innocent Blood is another card that has been a suggestion, then this makes a 1/1 token that can help in that situation. And also, if you are playing like a spot where racing matters, they aren't going to have removal, so you get an extra chump blocker. Curse of Silence is just kind of a catch-all card. You can name a particular card that you're afraid of, like a board wipe or something like that. Again, you don't sideboard much with this deck, but that's kind of what you can use that for. Miscast, then the rest are just counterspells. So there's 2 miscasts for the matchups where they might have a sweeper that you care about, like specifically like a Jund deck that might have like Brotherhood's End, which is 3 mana deal 3 to everything. Spell Pierce, just like a generic catch-all answer to like everything that might mess with you. And then Mystical Disputes, because against certain blue decks like Merfolk, you might want answers. Like I saw someone get absolutely owned by like Tishana's Tidebinder, which is a new card. I think it's Tishana's Tidebinder. It's like the 3 mana blue card that like counters an activated ability, makes the creature lose all their abilities. But anyway, that is the list, and we're going to be playing the event. Let's just see how it goes. Yeah, this is one of the funny things about when you qualify, like when you do really well in the Arena Open, you get like queued into these events, and you might as well try because you never know what's going to happen. And this deck is pretty, I'm really glad that I found this deck, because otherwise I was just going to like play like a deck and not really know the meta, and this one is at least straightforward. So basically you literally just mulligan until you have that white spell in your hand. So you have to mulligan to like 3 sometimes. So we have Fragment Reality, we have one of our ley lines. We can keep 5, and then we can ditch Geist, and we can ditch our Dark Wastes. On the play, yeah, this is good. Definitely put that into play. And we don't know anything about their deck, so we're just going to do this so they can't, like, it is an instant, but if they, like, happen to have Spell Pierce in their deck, then this is just fine for us. Opponent hopefully isn't prepared for the matchup, and if they're not prepared for the matchup, then like winning the die roll is huge, because when you're on the play, you're really hard to stop. Winning on the draw is a little bit harder sometimes, because like if they have Thoughtseize and you don't happen to have your like Leyline of Sanctity as your leyline, then you're like, you can like lose your like Fragment Reality. Yeah, like they have Thoughtseize here. I think they have to take Arcane Flight, but honestly, it's no good choices for them here. I'm glad I got rid of the land. Yeah, they keep Ethereal Armor. In Fragment Reality, I forgot to mention that you can use it on like your opponent's creatures and give them basically a tapped blocker. So that's pretty useful as well. Because like if my opponent doesn't play a creature here and they play a creature on turn 3, but then again, this is like why we make the leyline choices that we made. So hopefully they don't have Liliana. So now I need a top deck in Aura to have the win on my turn. And not for them to not have Liliana. It's kind of a hit or miss deck. Blood Tithe Harvester, sure. This gives first strike, right? Just gonna do that. They'll get a 1-drop. They don't have one. Igonjo. So basically the reason I did that is because it just like limits their options a little bit. Makes it so they can't shock in a land. They need one for like a 4-mana spell that could save them. And essentially I was hoping to top deck like any aura there, like another Arcane Flight or something, but I think this deck doesn't give you a lot of decision points, but I think making the ones that you do have correctly becomes even more important. So basically they need to have like a Fatal Push and a way to deal with the Geist or block it. So they're discarding card. So this is a matchup where Spell Pierce could be good because I think they'll have Liliana's. Blood Tithe Harvester shouldn't be good enough, and we got the win. Got there. Nice. Okay, so against Red-Black, it's not like I have a set sideboard plan, but Red-Black is the sort of deck that could have some Edict effects, and the important thing is you don't want to over sideboard. But this is the sort of matchup where it's important to like probably have some Spell Pierces because they're probably going to have Liliana's. You don't want Mystical Disputes. Miscast is interesting. They're probably going to bring in Brotherhood's End. And yeah, Curse of Silence isn't really for this match. It's more for like combo-y stuff. But I think definitely bringing in Cartouches. That's the exact, like this is the exact sort of matchup where I'd want Cartouche. And then probably maybe bringing in Spell Pierces. But you don't really want to go too out of your way. Slip Out the Back can also protect from Liliana stuff. But yeah, Combat Research is a card that you often cut because it doesn't like give you evasion for the matchups to care about this. This card's really good in like some of the control matchups, but like if I'm bringing in 4 auras, I can cut 4 auras. You want to make sure you have enough to make the Geist like fearsome attacker. And I like having the evasion cards. I could cut the 2 Griff Spoons because it is weak specifically against Brotherhood's End and bring in 2 Spell Pierces. So I'm going to do like that. On the play, I might have a different plan. But when you're on the draw, it's important to have some options. Because they're going to be more likely to be able to play like a turn 3 Liliana. Or whatever they play. Brotherhood's End. But yeah, I assume if I was them, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to cut all of my spot removal. Bring in all of my discard. So like, you know, like if you're on the play, it doesn't matter if they have Thoughtseize. But on the draw, it does matter if they have Thoughtseize. Unless you have like Leyline of Sanctity as the Leyline that you're going to be like scamming them with. So having a good opening hand isn't the most important, but like it can make a big difference in this sort of situation. So this is like the dream. No, it's not the dream. I don't have my card. Always just check for the 1 card. That's all that matters. Mulligan, mulligan. We got there. Gonna... I got my insurance, so I think I just ditched the Leyline and the Plains. If they do play a turn 1 Thoughtseize, this will do more damage to them. Yeah. Yep, they have the Thoughtseize. If I draw another Fragment Reality now, though... Yep. That's why being on the play and winning the die roll is important. Like, you can win on the draw sometimes, but when they have turn 1 Thoughtseize, it's a little bit tougher. And I'm just doing some damage to them. It's great. They're going to maybe take the Cartouche. I really like the Cartouche plan. But yeah, I figured they'd have all their swapping abilities. Wow, the Leyline of Combustion was a genius plan. Keeping that one instead of the Anticipation. They're at 10 already. What a draw. After all of their discard effects, I'm just going to get them anyway. Oh my gosh. They've taken 10 damage from Leyline and Thoughtseizes, and then I just get to just devastate them. Oh my gosh. They've cast 3 discard spells, and they're not going to be able to win. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just going for it. Oh my gosh. Oh, they've done all this work, and then they just get owned. I mean, they could have a sacrifice effect. It makes sense they would. This is like... Some people like really like historic or constructed and stuff. This stuff just feels funny to me. They're like, oh man. I would be a little bit frustrated if I was them. Like, oh gosh, I tore them apart. So now they have to find something. I have a lot of good draws here. The Colligan's commanding me. They might not have an answer for the Angel because their plan seems to be just bring in discard spells to stop me from getting Geist into play, and like having a spot removal spell doesn't really line up with that. Yes! We won! 10 damage with them from a random Leyline. No, we did 6 because they targeted us. So like one of them, I saw someone testing, they just had like random Leylines in, but I was like, I think this red one's like one of the better ones, like the one that does damage. And so I like carefully chose my Leylines to like be useful. 1-0! I mean, even at the end of the day, I mean, I get some gems out of this. I win gems no matter what, and it's a fun time, and it's a fun video, and yeah, it's like fun to play Constructed, and I think I've been considering making more Constructed stuff anyway, and this is the perfect excuse. Historic is a little bit weird to me because these like arena only cards, but like the arena only card that makes my deck work here is like at least one that makes sense to me. Like you could see that being in it's like basically Cascade. Like okay, this is an easy keep. The only downside is if I draw my second Geist, but you have to keep these hands. I could even just hard cast this one. I'm on the draw, which makes this a little bit tougher. But I have like a 1 in 54 chance of 1 in 53 chance of just drawing my other Geist. Let's see what opponent's up to. I wish I had an aura to go with the Geist, but now if I do draw like an ethereal armor, this guy just hits for like a billion. Blue-red's one of those interesting matchups. Oh, okay. This card's pretty okay if you do have some extra lands in play, but I could actually lose this game. My it's a weaker Scam start here. Like I have to draw something, I'd say, to put on this Geist if I want to be able to do anything. Oh, they kept a 1-lander. Well, here's hoping that they whiff on their lands for a while. Because I have drawn... I mean, I guess I get to play a second Geist next turn. That's actually no joke. Pretty reasonable. Legendary. They probably have Consider, but I have the second Geist anyway. So I at least get to do like 4 damage. Where are they going to scry? To the bottom. Yep. As you can see, I've had no choices to make this game other than like to attack that turn. But this is why I like the flying auras. Okay, yep. I needed to draw literally any aura this game and I would have been in good shape. Any of my auras to let me just attack that turn. Yeah, now the game might be over. They can cast Play with Fire on themselves. Pretty horrific draw for me, honestly. I have 18 lands in the deck. And I have like, it's like 18 lands, 18 ley lines, the 2 Geists, so that's 36, 38, and then the rest are just like 1 mana auras that are actually helpful for me. And I have drawn none of those auras. It's honestly a statistical wonder. It's a statistical wonder! But that's what you sign up for. You got to keep the hands that just have your 1 card. Your Fragment Reality. Yeah, I'm probably dead. If they do attack everything, though, I might have 1 out. No, I think I'm just dead, straight up. 7... Yeah, I'm dead. Gosh, I would have been in good shape. I just needed 2 more attack steps here. No blocks. Dang it. They kept the 1-lander for a while, but I guess you can flood out in an 18-land deck. Okay, they don't have sacrifice effects, so I don't need that card. Then again, they also don't have any, they have, like, I think being able to get flying is important. Spell Pierce, Miscast, and Mystical Dispute all have merit. I think Mystical Dispute's the worst because, I don't know. Is it the worst? I'm mostly afraid of them having Spell Pierce. I think on the play, I don't need really any of these cards, to be fair, because I'm just going to do my stuff on turn 1. But on the draw, I'll bring in these cards to play against their Spell Pierces. Because on the play, I don't have to worry about the Spell Pierce. On the draw is where it becomes a problem. Because they can like hold it up for a couple turns, then I can go for the turn 2 scam or whatever. Gosh. I was feeling real good about that game. And then it all went south. The opening hand was fine. I had the card right away. Easy keep. Like, this hand is, like, almost unbeatable, I feel like. I've got the Ethereal Armor to let my guy attack, because the first strike even is good enough. I've got the Slip Out the Back on turn 2 as well, which we'll get to show you that synergy. Okay, so here's how this goes. I play my Dark Art Wastes. Let's play Ethereal Armor. Actually, no. Let's play... Yeah, Ethereal Armor, I think, is the best one. Attack. First strike damage. Regular damage. Slip out the back of my guy before it would go away. Yeah, so that's how that goes. Next turn, I'm even playing around Spell Pierce with my Arcane Flight on the Geist. Swinging for lethal. Yep, Symmetry Sage. Yep. This is actually just lethal. Buff up my guy. This is 5, 10, 14. Exile their new guy. Get there. Important to remember this is a functional removal spell as well. So that was a turn 3 kill on the play. On the draw, it gets tougher. So this is where I actually do have to bring in my cards. So on the draw, I'm bringing in all 8 of my counter spells so I can beat a Spell Pierce, which may or may not be smart. I think Miscast, I don't need that one. I have all my cards are built for the Spell Pierce situation. I'm going to make my Scam less consistent. I'm going to take out the Ley Lines. And I'm going to take out all 4 combat researches because it's not really a combat research matchup. You know what? I could cut 1 land and one Scam piece. Yeah, I'm going to do that instead. I like keeping the land count the exact same as the... especially because I'm bringing in a bunch of blue cards, so Plains doesn't really do much for me anyway. Because I need to have, like... Yeah. I need cutting 1 of each. Keeps the consistency because I need exactly 1 of each. Okay, mulligan. Easy keep. And we can get rid of the Ley Line of Lightning. So, not the best. But I'm getting to the point where I can start playing around Spell Pierce by just casting my stuff. So I need 1 more land. Oh, I have Leyline of Anticipation. I can flash in my Geist. Man, this game is actually intense. What do they have in their hand? It's got to be some sort of Spell Pierce effect, I feel like. If they go for some crazy Reckless Charge, I can actually Fragment Reality on their guy. Okay. They get the block in. No block. Okay. That means Fragment Reality could be lethal for me. How do I best use it? I kind of want to use it on their Symmetry Sage. But I don't want to walk into a Spell Pierce still. So they're going to take damage when they bounce one of my things because of this ley line. Okay, so they're bouncing ley line and that will shrink my guy. Sure. Yep. That's why I played the... Yes, we got there! Unless they have a third Spell Pierce as their last card. Yes! I played that so well. I was playing around double Spell Pierce that like entire game. Yes! Oh my gosh, we did it! What a win! What a performance! I felt good about how I sideboarded too. I sideboarded out slight elements of the scam. Man, after losing that first game, I was feeling bad, but yeah! Woo! We did it! I'm learning so much. I feel like the thing is you never want to sideboard too many cards in, and so that's why the sideboard is tricky to build. Where it's like I sideboarded in 6 cards there. It felt like it might have been correct to sideboard in 8 or something, but like I feel like the proactive anti-counterspell measures are like better almost. Where it's like, oh, I'd rather like, oh my gosh, even drawing the Geist there was so nice because they had double Spell Pierce to stop me from getting one into play, but I just straight up drew the Geist and so I could flash him in. Oh my gosh. I feel like a genius. Okay, so we can't keep this. Again, we don't have our spell. Giganta often means that it's that Wizard's deck. Sometimes you just have to mulligan. Okay, we can keep this. If they have Thoughtseize, it's not great for me, but you know. So now it's just about what I draw here. Reckless Charge. Yep. Does a lot. Yeah, I might not even be able to race them. They could kill me on turn 3. This seems like one of the most popular decks. I think it won the last like Arena Championship or something. Yeah, the games where you mulligan to 3 on the draw are not the best ones for this deck. So I'm dead to any other spell. Or just a shot to the face. Got me. Okay. Game 2. I kind of like my strategy where I don't care about Spell Pierce on the play and just kind of do my own thing on the play. I don't play removal spells. This thing doesn't do much because they don't have that. I'm just going to run it back, I think. Yeah. I just like having as many auras as possible. I guess the first strike aura could just be good. Like, it might be better than Griffspoon because they have flyers. The thing is, they also have a lot of random ground creatures, like 1/2s and stuff. So being able to fly over those is relevant. But getting first strike is no joke. I just have to hope they don't have a fast goldfish of their own and that I just like have a reasonable hand with auras and spells. But I think this matchup is the toughest one, probably. Because it's a combination of pressure and spell pierce that you don't want to see. But yeah. I mean, we already have 2 wins, which is pretty good. Oh, man. This is a great hand. And they're mulliganing. And I have the slip out the back, which is also really good against them. Because you get that angel, which they struggle to deal with. Because dealing 5 to something is hard. This is honestly like the perfect hand. If I could choose 7, I think I would choose this 7. Or something close to it. Definitely going before they can have Spell Pierce up. This matchup can't have sacrifice out effects, though, which is nice. Soulscar Mage, sure. This is still why I like Griffspoon. Like, I think that's the coolest play you get to make with this deck is using Slip Out the Back. That card's the most skill testing in the deck. Now I'm threatening lethal next turn. They'll have to chump block my Geist. This matchup is very die roll dependent. If I'm on the play, I think I have a really good shot. If I win the die roll, winning games on the draw is tougher. But it can be done, as we saw last time. They shocked themselves, okay. Symmetry Sage, okay. Do they have lethal next turn? I wonder. The crazy thing is like, if I like phased this guy out, I could potentially try to swing for the win. But I don't think I need another 5/5 angel. Okay, they're chump blocking. Can they kill me? So if they have land and then just 3 reckless rages, they have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15. So yeah. So I think I need to hold this in case they just have all the reckless rages and stuff. Because like they're at 1. So like I already have 3 lethal attackers next turn. Let's just play around them having like Dreadhorde Arcanist into Reckless Rage. Okay. Game 3. I think we're going to do the same sideboarding. I kind of like that plan. So I take out the planes. The Plains is mostly there if they have like a Field of Ruin or a Boseiju. Take out one Leyline. Bring in Spell Pierces, the Mystical Disputes. Honestly, I'm not really worried about anything that I can't counter with a Miscast. So might as well go with Miscast. Spell Pierce is just a nice catch-all in case they have, like, Lilianas, for example. Compulsive Research, Combat Research, again, was not a card I felt like I could really get much use out of. I think I'm going to cut the Griff Spoons for 2 cartouches as well, potentially. So I like the armors, so I have 6 counter spells now. Slip out the back is really good still, I think. Though honestly, maybe I just need ways to enable attacks. I could go down 2 more Scam pieces and just bring in 2 cartouches. Don't want to hurt my consistency too much. Yeah, let's just try to bring in a little bit more auras, because I want to make sure that I have the ability to attack in. And the chump blocker can matter as well. Though they probably are bringing in their stuff. Okay, there's the keeper. Beautiful, we drew the land. Not going to walk into it. We have Mystical Dispute for a Spell Pierce. That's the whole reason we sideboarded into this plan. Okay. Unfortunately, my Pain lands could actually lose me the game, because this is a really close racing matchup. I think Cartouche of Solidarity might be what I needed, though, to give me that extra chump blocker to maybe get me over the top. But all my damage I'm taking from my lands is not insignificant. Like, Seachrome Coast would be a really good draw for me here. I hope they have a very reactive hand that was like really banking on that counter spell. Like, if they play like a creature into Reckless Rage here, I'm probably going to lose. That's really bad for me. That's really bad. Yep, I'm going to lose. Well, our plan was okay. It's mostly just like they just hit really hard. They don't even need anything else here. So they go for this. I should have cast the Arcane Flight while they were tapped out. So maybe I can't beat anything. Gosh, my land's dealing 4 damage to me here is not going to be good. Or 3. I guess they've done this is turn 3. So my lands have only done 1, 2. Yeah, because I cast the thing. Yeah, I've only taken 2 damage from my lands, but it's still going to be bad for me. I keep it on top. That probably means it's a counter spell. I was hoping they would like go for lethal. Oh. What? They just don't attack? Yeah, I think I'm dead no matter what I do here. But if they go for... No, I'm just dead. I could go for Cartouche, make a 1/1 to chump block, give it flying. But the problem is they have so many attackers, they just play Reckless Rage next turn, and I can't block enough. I block Balmor, and they just have 8 damage, because they all get trample. Because my lands deal me damage. It was a weird non-attack by them last turn, though. They must have sniffed it out. Yep. That's a tough matchup. That is a tough one. It was a fun match, though. I'll give him that. Gosh, if I'd had a slightly better hand, I mean, maybe the deck... I mean, I don't think the deck can really afford to play Interaction, but it might be worth playing a couple portable holes for just that matchup to be able to, like, race Balmor. Because it is tough to deal with that deck. And I've faced it twice. Going 1-1 in that matchup feels pretty good. It literally came down to who won the die roll, though, because whoever won the die roll was vastly favored. So I won the die roll the first time I played it. So I lost game 1 against them. So I managed to win 2 games. I won a game on the draw last time, but okay, this is an easy keep. I really hate the Mana Confluence of Darkar Waste thing, but you have to play them because you need both your colors and you don't have any filtering whatsoever. I'm going to ditch the Leyline of the Void. Every point of damage can matter in this sort of deck. And Leyline of Lightning can definitely do like 1 or 2 points, which can like save a turn off your clock. Ooh, a control matchup. Perfect. Like, case in point. Like, if they shock themselves or something, it could matter. Or, like, let's say I drew Ethereal Armor this turn. I would have 2, 3, and then the Ethereal Armor would give 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the 4 from the Angel, plus 1. So Ethereal Armor would be lethal here now, because I did the Leyline of Lightning play. Oh my gosh. I feel so vindicated. Like, I just have Arcane Flight, though. But this plays around... No, it doesn't play around anything. Yeah, I'm going to decline. But if I didn't have this Arcane Flight in my hand... Still. Like, imagine I just had a random ley line in my hand. I would have killed them on this turn because of my keeping of the ley line of lightning. It's like the worst ley line, I think, in the deck, but it is still good. Okay, we're against blue-white control. Blue-white control is going to have board wipes, I think. Probably Supreme Verdicts. They're not going to have any sacrifice effects, though. But they are going to have some planeswalkers. Not that that really matters to me. Okay. So they don't have any creatures, so I think Griffspoon can go. And then, man, do they play Supreme Verdict? They probably do. I assume they do. It's a blue-white control card. Yeah, maybe I don't even care about that. Maybe I just, like, accept the fact that it's going to happen, and I just use Slip Out the Back as my one answer. Yeah, let's try it like this. Let's just look it up on my phone while I wait. Historic blue-white control MTG. This is a really good matchup for me, I think. Historic Azorius control. Azorius control. Just seeing if they have the option of playing. Yeah, they do have Supreme Verdicts. They have a bunch of board wipes. Yep. They have a bunch of counter spells and board wipes. They'll probably have Spell Pierces post-board. But I forgot to sideboard for the Spell Pierce plan because I feel like they're going bigger, maybe. Maybe they just have all the Spell Pierces, though. I do have 2 Mystical Disputes to help with that, but because I don't have to rely on this game as much, I think I was just going for more focused. Okay. Easy mull. Nice little keeper here. I'm just going to keep one of these and one of these. Because honestly, I guess I could just keep both, but I'm just going to assume they don't have anything. I'm just going to, like, accept that I lose to Spell Pierce. Because the Ethereal Armor is kind of needed to help me actually pressure them, maybe. Nice, they don't have it. And Slip Out the Back is good if they have a board wipe. That's like my answer. So that's the other reason I like this hand. Let's see what counterspell they're using here. In this matchup, I'm going to use my Slip Out the Back more conservatively. Okay. Supreme Verdict doesn't come down until next turn. They could have a 3-mana. I don't think there's a 3-mana board wipe, but if I'm forgetting something. The only one I can think of is the one that you have to foretell in order to do it. But I just want to keep the pressure. Yep. This way I don't have to worry about them flashing in a Snapcaster or something. I probably could have played that untapped just to mess with them. I mean, I don't think the damage is going to matter that much. I think they're going to go for a Supreme Verdict, and I'm just going to Slip Out the Back and win. My deck is already well suited for this matchup. This is fun. I'm actually really enjoying this. I mean, it's not as complicated as some of the decks that I normally like to play, or like the intricacies, but as like a dip my toes back into some constructed action, this is a perfect deck because I get to feel like I'm playing around stuff. I know more about my opponent's deck list. I mean, could in theory know more about their deck list, but yeah. Here I'm just like, okay, if they play Supreme Verdict, I still win, which is all that matters. The real question is if they don't play Supreme Verdict, do I go for a slip out the back on their end step? Yes! The plan worked! The plan worked! I'm so smart. I'm so smart. My opening hand, genius plays. Yes! Yes! Another victory! Another victory for the good guys! Okay, I think if I was to play this deck again, I would want... I've realized I don't think I have slots ever for more than 6 counter spells. Like, I can take out 4 cards and then shave the scam a little bit on the draw. But I think I would use those 2 slots. But I want the counter spells against the red-blue matchup anyway. I might just have to, like, go, like, all out against red-blue. Like, have just, like, a dedicated sideboard plan for them for when I'm on the draw. Like, have my counter magic, but also have some portable holes to deal with, like, their guys. Ooh, I'm against a Maz. Fun. I wonder what he's playing. Hopefully we get a nice little victory here. And obviously this means the usernames mean nothing. You know, multiple people can have the same username in Arena because of their system, which I actually like. Mulligan. Mulligan. We're on the draw too, which is unfortunate, but we can keep this. Put GEIST on the bottom and one of these on the bottom. They're playing maybe the Wizards deck, which is unfortunate because as we've already established, that deck is really hard to beat on the draw. But slip out the back's pretty good, making my 5/5 flyer on turn 2 or whatever. Ugh. But yeah. Yeah, Symmetry Sage. I have just about like the best setup I could have, other than the fact that my lands are going to kill me, which is really unfortunate actually, because your land's doing damage to you in this matchup is really bad. The fact that I've drawn 2 mana confluences is really awkward. But Fragment Reality killing a Symmetry Sage is also pretty decent. Can help stop a lot of damage before it begins. I'm definitely going to Fragment Reality the Symmetry Sage on turn 2. That's my plan. And then I'll make my 5/5 flyer. Perfect, okay. I'm at 17 just from my lands. Feels bad. They do have removal spells in their main deck, so the 5/5 is not like necessarily safe. Here's hoping they don't have a Flame of Anor. So they're going to take... They'll just take 4 here. Yep. Them having Flame of Anor wasn't the best, but it's how it goes. I only have to win one of the games on the draw, which I guess is the tall task in this sort of situation. Yeah, this game's over. I don't think I can win anymore. I needed to draw a... maybe I was supposed to just keep my 5/5 flyer alive, turn it into a 6/6 flyer, hit them for 4, they'd be at 11, but I would have at least a 2-turn clock. I liked keeping this guy around because if I do draw a aura, I guess I could have put it on the angel. Either line pretty much loses to a second. The thing is, they can just... yeah, I don't know. Either line loses to a second spell there. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to keep my angel. I just know that they have, like, burn spells, and so they can chain them together to hit my angel. If I get 7 more in, I can play Geist number 2 if they do trade off. Wow. Yeah, just horrific draw. But that's what the deck is. I'm not mad. I'm just saying this is not a useful draw. This is kind of the second game I've played against this exact matchup where I don't draw a single aura, which has made the games feel impossible to win. Like, not being able to attack with Geist is terrible. Reckless. There's an aura. They probably have counter magic, but you know. I'm almost assuredly dead on the counter swing, but if I'm not, then I have this Fragment Reality, which can kind of be a removal spell of sorts. Okay. See, what I want to do here is exile the Soul Scar Mage. Because then they'll just block here. I think my best bet is that they go for lethal next turn and I can juke them. Can they kill the Geist? They just need one more spell. Why would they Spike Field Hazard if they didn't have another spell? Also, why wouldn't they do this alt after blocks? Yeah, I'm just gonna... I don't think I could have won this game. I think I had to hope that they didn't have an answer and that they were just spewing. Because if they were going to do this line, they should have blocked first. Yeah. Like, I could have killed the Balmor. But they have 1, 2, they can, like, bolt me, flashback bolt, fire up Bugbear. Okay, I'm on the play this time. And I think we decided that on the play I don't do anything. Because on the play my cards are kind of in their ideal element. On the draw is where I bring in the 6 cards, shave on scam elements. But on the play, I think this matchup is like very, very straightforward. I just do my thing, hope for auras, hope to be able to attack them before they can kill me. And then on the draw is like very hard to win. That one was close. I almost had that one. If I had drawn like one more aura, or they hadn't had Flame of Anor for my 5/5. But, you know, it's the nature of the deck. The deck is what it is. It's not really the most skill testing, but it's also like there's enough decision points. Like I could have exiled their Balmor and then it would have maybe given me a chance. Would have maybe given me a shot. Shot to the heart and you're to blame. But yeah. Looks like my opponent is deep in the tank on how they're going to sideboard. It's a real challenging matchup as they maybe haven't played it before. But yeah, for game 3, I'll bring in all of my tech, all of my dreams. I mean, I did win a couple games on the draw against this matchup before. They've also mulligan. This is a keeper. The slip out the back, buffing up the Angel after they probably side out their Flame of Anors is pretty important, I think. This is only going to ever cost 2. So I'm going to get rid of Mana Confluence and 1 of Dark Art Waste. I can play this as my second land if I need to, but I don't really have a need for a second land right now. And if I do just naturally draw a land here, I can, like, I ganja them. Consider, sure. I could have gone for the slip out the back on the Angel. But it walks into Spell Pierce. I was wondering why they would shock in their land. Unfortunate that I couldn't draw a land to kill Balmor with Iganjo. Okay, so we've won game 2. That was expected. Very easily, I might add.
We very easily dismantled our opponent's game plan using clear strategy.
So on the draw, this matchup becomes a lot interesting. I'm going to side out 2 Ley Lines of Lightning. Plains. All 4 combat researches. Both Griff Spoons. Honestly, Ethereal Armor is like potentially cuttable. Arcane Flight, I think, is still worthwhile, but we'll consider it. I still like Slip Out the Back because making a 5/5 Angel is really good post board. I like this configuration, so let's just choose what we want. We definitely want both Mystical Disputes. We can answer a Balmor, which is actually problematic for us. We want our 2 Spell Pierces, 2 Miscasts, I think. So our 6 counter spells that we can afford to bring in. We definitely, I think, want Ethereal Armor still. I think we want the Cartouche, because First Strike is good for us here, even though they have a lot of ground guys. And then I think we just bring in 3, or keep in 3 Arcane Flights. I think Cartouche might be worse than Arcane Flight, but I like the jump blocker, maybe in a racing situation. Also, keeping in Plains could be okay just as a painless land. I could have cut up Mana Confluence. Okay, keep this. Ditch the... So I have to keep this. These ones are keeping for sure. Probably keeping the lands. Just goes for it. Okay, well. They probably know I have Fragment Reality. But I really want to counter Balmor, which seems like a key card here. Okay. Honestly doesn't do much for me. Gosh. I can see why I didn't keep in the Plains. If I'd had a Plains instead of Mana Confluence, it would have been a disaster. I really wish I just had a land here. Up on the bottom? Yeah, those things. Yeah, this is problematic. We're taking a heap of damage. If I needed to just draw a land here, this is pretty awful. Like if I drawn a land to like zap this guy, this game's over. Gosh darn it. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is how the deck is, but... Yeah, I forgot that they could do that. Yep. I got tilted and messed up. I couldn't attack, though. I got screwed by my mulligan. If I had just, like, kept my auras, I would have been able to win, maybe, like, get a cartouche, but... What really needed to happen was I needed to not mulligan. I just needed to keep a 7, because winning on the draw in this matchup is tough. And so if I'd been able to keep my opening 7, I don't know. I still wouldn't have had a second land for the Iganjo plan. But I at least would have been able to cast some stuff. Oh, frustrating. If I could have kept my extra planes and over, like, could have shaved more lane lines. Because the Iganjo's like a spell in the matchup, which is, I guess, something I should have thought about. Again, losing the die roll, I think, makes this matchup really tough. But because they can actually race you. Still 3-2. I got an extra 5,000 gems. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more, leave hashtag scam in the comment section down below, because the deck was pretty much the definition of what a scam deck is, like try to play non-interactive games. But I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see more constructed content going forward. And yeah, 3-2, pretty awesome since I haven't touched historic in actual months. So yeah, I'm happy, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you next time.